Hi everyone, welcome back to Gentlemen Prefer Cinephiles.
And our special segment, The Horror Show.
Woo! I actually completely lied to you guys. So it worked out this month that we were actually able to have an episode for the horror series.
Yes.
And so, yeah, we're just sneaking it in here. I think everyone needs a break from James Bond as much as we love him, you know?
Who needs a break from sexy James Bond? All
Alex,
7
quick,
of them.
yeah, right? All 265 James Bond film. Tell me, favorite Bond film?
The one with Pierce Brosnan.
I love that.
I don't know which one it is. There's so many. But it's
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan and the sexy lady, and he...
I love that.
Which
I love
one?
that descriptor. It's honestly right on par.
I'm the horror movie expert.
Alex is like, I just started with.
I know. I just recently started watching James Bond, and I only know Pierce Brosnan from Mars Attacks. So.
So yeah, okay. So we are gonna kick it off today with Ugly Sweater Party because we just wrapped watching it actually, and we have the director calling in a little bit to kind of answer some questions for you guys, so that's super, super exciting.
Yes.
But yeah, Alex, so tell me, what made you, because I was introduced to Ugly Sweater Party through Evelyn, who you might have heard, you know, in the 007 episodes, and then you also introduced it to me.
I did.
Yeah, so tell me about how you found it, where you found it, all that stuff.
So I just kind of well, first of all, I picked this for us to start off because I know that you really celebrate indie films as well as, you know, the good classics.
It's so important, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we gotta all support each other in this new age of, you know, independent media, independent film,
Independent films especially. So I picked this one because I thought it would go with the vibe, but I really loved it. I saw it for the first time a couple months ago when I was living in Ohio.
Iconic.
Because I met Felissa Rose, star of Sleepaway Camp, 1984, which is a cult classic in the horror community. And when I met her, you know, I just kind of asked her, like, what else are you working on? What else are you doing? And she mentioned this film. I saw it. It was ridiculous. It was campy. It was disgusting. It was gritty. It was everything that I wanted in a horror film. And it made me crack up. It made me laugh.
And the thing I really liked about it is sometimes with these independent films that like have like silly premises like this, you get like this schlocky film that's just kind of boring and not interesting. But the thing about Ugly Sweater Party was that it was actually super entertaining.
Every minute, like, you couldn't look away. You just couldn't look away for 1 second. The acting was great too. I really loved it. Like, yes, you had the stars.
I'm like high-key obsessed with the friend.
Which one? Jody.
Yeah.
Jody, yeah.
I was like, just every other line I was like, me. Me.
And yeah, I love the like final girl, Laura Jean. Oh my god, she killed it in that movie.
Evelyn? I'm calling you out here. If all of you listeners want to know what Evelyn looks like, pretty much exactly like that.
Definitely that Laura Jean's aesthetic, and her character Hannah just kills me. She's like a psychic. So we'll have Erynn kind of give you a synopsis of the film.
So I'm actually going to go ahead and go into the interview with Erynn now.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Mr. Mento, Mr. Erynn Mitchell, critically acclaimed director of Ugly Sweater Party.
Yes.
Thank you for joining Gentlemen Prefer Cinephiles. So we just watched it. Erynn got to see it for the first time.
I was pretty excited about it.
So yeah, we just had a couple questions for you about holiday horror in general and of course your film.
Absolutely. Hey, really happy to be on here. I'm so glad you guys got to dig the movie. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Well, yes, of course. I loved it because it was really entertaining, and that was my favorite part about it.
Cool. Yeah. It's a very low budget movie, so the goal was just to make it as entertaining as possible, like nonstop. So hopefully, you're not noticing how low budget it is.
Yeah.
Honestly, it worked in your favor in a lot of sections.
Yeah, it was great. We are kind of independent filmmakers ourselves, so it's very refreshing when you see something that is low budget like that can really, you know, pull at you like that, pull at your laugh box and your heartstrings and really make you cringe. So, do you just want to give our listeners a brief synopsis of the film?
Sure, yeah. So Ugly Sweater Party is a holiday horror comedy, and it's about this serial killer named Declan Rains, played by Sean Whalen, and he's killed, and he's this terrible serial killer who wears an ugly sweater when he murders people, and his spirit basically possesses the ugly sweater, and one of our heroes picks up this sweater on his way to an ugly sweater party, and when he wears it, the sweater starts to slowly possess him and make him kill the partygoers.
Great. And it's great. It's full of demon possessions and blood, guts, and of course laser beams. You can't have an ugly sweater party without lasers.
Oh my god, 100%. So my big question, Erynn, for you was, I was really fascinated with the story. Where did that come from? Like, what was your first, like, did you, like, just attend an ugly sweater party and you were like, this would be an excellent movie idea? Or, like, where did that develop?
Yeah, great idea. Yeah, or great question, not great idea. That'd be tooting my own horn.
I thought it was a great idea.
It was.
Thanks. I think the idea just came from, I probably saw, like, just the words ugly sweater party somewhere, and I just thought that would be such a great title for a movie, and I love holiday horror, so I really just built it off of, I really like possession haunting movies, like a lot of those Amityville ones where it's like a haunted clock or a
Sure.
haunted lamp or something.
Yeah.
I probably watched one of those recently too, and that was kind of on my mind. And so, and the interesting thing about the writing of the screenplay was that I started out just with a concept. There's an ugly sweater party. A guy has a sweater that possesses him, and he kills people. And then I basically met people in the horror community, and I wrote the parts specifically for them.
Oh, okay.
So I met Charles Chudabala. I did a web series with him called Choose Their Kill for Crypt TV.
Yes, that was with Eli Roth, right?
Yeah, through Eli Roth. And, we really hit it off, and I just told him the idea for it. I said, hey, do you want to, like, star in this? And then he was really plugged into the indie horror scene. I was like, maybe he can just introduce me to a bunch of people on the scene, and I'll write parts for them. And that's what we did. Went to Monster Palooza, met a bunch of people. Kevin Caliber, who plays one of the Shawns, and of course Felissa Rose, who I'm a huge fan of from Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah.
Hunter Johnson had worked with her on his movie To Jennifer. So just getting introduced to various people and writing the characters specifically for them after I met them.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my god, excellent. So how much of it was scripted out, and how much of it was just that kind of collaboration since you wrote the parts from them?
It was pretty scripted, but it was based on my interactions with them. So I wrote to their personalities.
Yeah, you could really tell.
Yeah, there's still improvisation from people, but because it was so like written with them in mind, it really kind of fit them, and they really liked staying on book as much as possible. But I always let people improvise for sure.
Great. No, and it really showed. You could tell they were having a lot of fun. So I too am a huge fan of Felissa Rose. I did get a chance to meet her. So I got to ask, what was it like directing like these horror icons like Felissa and Sean Whalen?
Yeah, they're both awesome. They're good friends, and they're such pros. Like Felissa would have so much dialogue and pages and stuff. She was always so prepared, knew everything by heart, and just makes it look effortless.
She killed me. She was so good.
Yeah, so, any filmmakers out there, you definitely want to work with Felissa Rose and Sean Whalen, because they're both they give it their all, and they don't ever phone it in. They're 100% invested in it. And it was a pleasure. It was such a pleasure to work with them. I consider both of them my friends now. We, keep in touch all the time. They're super excited about the release for the movie on Blu-ray. So, yeah, it was like a dream come true. And Sleepaway Camp was a huge influence on this movie. There's references all over it.
Oh, I could tell. My favorite was the tattoo, I'm a happy camper. Yeah. Like, I just watched part 2 or part 3 where they're singing it, and it was great.
That's so awesome. Yeah, that's Hunter Johnson's real tattoo.
No way.
Yeah, that's a real tattoo.
That's like the universe lining up right there.
Yeah.
So, speaking of filmmakers out there, what advice do you have for up-and-coming filmmakers?
One piece of advice I would say would be look into self-distribution. That's what we're doing with Ugly Sweater Party. Mm-hmm. We do not have a distributor. We're doing everything ourselves. So,
okay.
When you're on a certain budget level, let's call it a micro budget, I think you just have to basically look at what's your end goal. Like, do you want the most people to see it? Do you want the most control over your project? Or somewhere in the middle? Because with some distributors, they may take some of that control away from you. The poster art may be dictated by them. The release date will be dictated by them. And there may not be as much transparency in terms of money they may be using for advertising, money they may be using to get the movie to certain places, and you may lose a little bit of control over your project. But they might be able to get it further and more eyes on it. So I would say definitely examine self-distribution versus finding a distributor, and have that in mind before you even start filming.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When you approach self-distribution, do you like go to something like Amazon or like Indiegogo Fund? Like where's kind of like the first step you would say to research?
Yeah, I would, Amazon's a good place to put your movie on Amazon Prime if you just want people to watch it. You don't get a lot of money for views. They've reduced that even more. If you want the most people to watch it, you can put it on Amazon Prime, which is free to stream if you have Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
What I did with Ugly Sweater Party is I put it on Amazon Prime Video, which means you have to rent it.
Yes.
So you have to rent it or buy it. And honestly, that just came from me wanting to add a bit of value to the movie.
Yeah.
To make it seem like, you know what, this is like, we got a physical release coming soon. I want to make sure that, I see my movie as valuable.
Yeah.
So if I think that it's worth a rental, then I'm going to make it a rental. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then maybe eventually I'll put it on Prime streaming.
For sure.
But, so that's just the way I looked at it. A lot of people just put it right on Prime streaming,
mm-hmm.
and maybe they get a lot of revenue. I'm not sure.
But yeah. And I feel like eventually, as this picks up more steam, as it gets out there more, this is a cult classic.
Yeah.
I mean, not even just having, Felissa and Sean, like, that adds to it, but the story itself, I mean, you're well familiar with the horror community, so you know what we like.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely first and foremost a fan of horror movies. So yeah, I know what I want to see, especially in like a holiday horror movie or a fun kind of horror movie.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So what is coming up next for you?
Yes.
Yes, so we have the Blu-ray release of Ugly Sweater Party, and that is, we're doing an event at Dark Delicacies in Burbank.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a signing event. So on Friday the 13th of December, 7 p.m., we are having most of the cast and crew there to sign the Blu-rays, and that'll be the official release date. And then after that, I'm going to be making it available online to order.
Yes,
Excellent.
I can't wait. And congrats again on the Blu-ray release.
Thanks. Yeah, there's a really, really awesome documentary on it. I think it's over an hour long that Hunter Johnson produced. It's really good.
Wow.
About the making of the movie.
Excellent.
So
Where can
really
they find
and
that?
And then the next film project I have is a project. Sorry, it's a busy road. I don't know if you can hear that.
Oh,
it's okay.
You're good.
It's a project called 16 Bits.
Yes.
Yeah. So I crowdfunded this with Kevin Caliber, who plays Sean in Ugly Sweater Party. He's the star of that. So we're starting shooting that in end of December.
Yes, and I'm very, very excited for it. I was following your Indiegogo with it, and it looks so great.
Thanks.
So yes, I don't know if you want to talk to that too, but for everyone out there, like, just from what I've seen from the promo you've had, it looks like it's going to be a pretty gnarly film.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's about this guy who's kind of a loser on his birthday playing video games by himself, and this game character from an old 90s video game comes to life. He's like a Street Fighter kind of character, and they both kind of go on a killing spree throughout the city on his birthday.
Yes.
Love that.
That sounds great. Okay, so
excellent. Well, thank you so
much.
Wait,
I have
yes, you have another question?
one last
Alex.
question for you,
Sorry,
Erynn. Sorry. Yeah. I just want to know, while we're on the subject, what is your favorite holiday horror film?
That's a good question.
Oh, man. I mean, my favorite has got to be the original Black Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. But if we're going for, like, fun and camp, then I really like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Erynn. I really, really appreciate you calling in.
And like I said, you got some fans out here in Colorado. We'll be following you. More Mento movies, hopefully, to come.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. It was great talking to you guys.
Excellent. Thank you
great.
so much.
Thank
Have
you
a great
so
rest
much.
of the day.
Okay, you guys too, okay?
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye. And that was so nice.
I know.
Mark Patton. I'm just kidding. Please call us, Mark. We'd love to cover your documentary when it comes out.
Oh, are we still recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I like it.
You were like, wait a
Can't
minute.
tell
That's
on
okay.
this side.
No, don't even worry.
Okay. So
So,
and
yes.
that was our interview with critically acclaimed director
Woo!
Erynn Mitchell. Thank you so much for calling in
It
again.
was so nice. Yes, it was super amazing. So, yeah, let's go ahead and move into our next Christmas horror movie.
Yes.
That is Black Christmas.
Black Christmas, 1970.
Excellent. It has our favorite horror movie dad playing a cop.
Oh, yeah, John Saxon
Yeah.
from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, so, we have that through line. Alex and I are pulling up a continuity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen the Gretchen Wiener's remake of Black
Yes.
Christmas, but I am really excited for the new one. I do love the original Black Christmas though. I know we covered it a really long time ago on the podcast.
That's right.
Like a
You did
really long time ago.
Halloween versus Black Christmas, which was better.
Yeah. I don't
You
fully
can't do
remember
that.
what my stance was.
I remember you said Black Christmas was better.
Did I? Okay.
Well, actually, I think the consensus you guys came up with was that you couldn't have horror without these two films.
That was an awkward consensus, but so I think like now when I'm like reflecting on the genre, I think that Black Christmas definitely I think was the start of slashers in all the sense of the term, but you get it influencing Halloween, which was kind of the big one that influenced slashers on a larger scale,
Yeah.
I guess. So you get like a difference in scale with the two of them, but I think both of them are excellent.
Yeah.
They're good, well done movies.
For those of you who haven't seen Black Christmas, you need to. It is one of the
It's a horror staple, honestly.
one of the best ones. It has Olivia Hussey, the Virgin Mary, Juliet from Romeo and Juliet. She gives an outstanding performance in this film.
Yeah. So.
And honestly, if you watch it alone in the dark, it'll shake you to your core.
Yeah, it's honestly very, very scary. And the thing about it that's super interesting too, for a slasher film, the killer is like pretty absent.
Mm-hmm.
Or
absolutely.
like you just get his eye, I think, the entire time.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it in a while, but
and you also get the POV shot like you do in Halloween, and that was really interesting, I think, for the time too.
Yeah.
But Black Christmas, I mean, that's a horror movie set on a holiday where nothing scary is supposed to happen that day.
Yeah, because we have Christmas as this, like, I'm going to say desexualized holiday for, like, lack of a better term, but, like, it's this time of year where, like, there's a wholesomeness to it that when, filmmakers play with the whole idea of, like, Christmas and horror, it creates a really interesting, like, dissonance between what the actual holiday is. And I think, some filmmakers do it more effective than others, but I think Black Christmas is when it's done most effectively, I think.
Absolutely. And there are some heavy themes that get taken.
You get like
on there.
abortion, and then like the whole like just the nature of the sexual abuse the women are going through at the hands of like the person calling in.
Also,
we get one of the best
them.
lines ever. It's like, oh, it's coming from inside the house. Is that this?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Well, that is this, but it's
this,
also
but
when a
it's
stranger calls.
Also when there's like, but like,
But yeah, absolutely.
I'm referencing this when I say that. No, I'm just kidding.
Erynn, how do you feel about this taking place, or this man plaguing this group of women? They're a sorority house.
Yeah, because I think it's really interesting and effective commentary because honestly, it's experiences that women go through on the daily. So I think the thing about the Black Christmas is interesting because it's not like another horror movie where it's like a very like one-off situation scenario, you know what I mean? Like Halloween, it's very like condensed in this area, or like Nightmare on Elm Street, there's very certain conditions around it. But the thing about Black Christmas is that's normal experiences for women.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's the fucking crazy thing about it, is because it's so extreme that like as an audience member it's easy to be like, oh geez, well haha, what a scary horror movie. But it's experiences that women just go through,
which is pretty terrifying.
Right? Which is horrifying. Like I remember I even had this guy who would like call me all the time, and like it was super weird.
Would he
and
breathe
like
on the phone and say,
yeah.
I can taste your lady
He didn't
parts?
say that.
Okay.
He would say like weird shit, but like I would just hang up really quick. Like I wouldn't stay on the phone as long. I'd be pieced out. But like yeah, like just like me, who I feel like I don't have a lot of crazy experiences. Like even like I went through something like that, and so it's like a pretty normal female experience to go through, and like that's the thing I think that is the thing that's effective about it for me, is that it's really showcasing a real experience.
Yes.
And so yeah, that commentary is really well done. Also like introducing things like abortion and all that stuff in a time when like that was very taboo to talk about. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, just thinking like maybe like 10-ish years earlier, you have like Doris Day films like talking about pregnancy for the first time in cinema, let alone like abortions. You know what I mean? It's just a really interesting sign of the times changing and moving.
It is.
And so yeah, I think it's an excellent film.
Yeah.
What is the remake like?
Me too. So the remake comes out.
I've not seen it.
It's like in the early 2000s, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember when I saw it, it scared me half to death.
Really?
I just moved into a new house. And just so you have a synopsis of the film, if you haven't seen it, there's a killer that's living in the house, like up in the attic, and he's moving through the walls. Is that thunder?
Well, there's some
it a
thunder
plane?
outside.
I know,
or a
I
plane
sounded
or something,
like there was someone in the walls.
We were both like, doo-doo-doo.
So, and it's interesting with remakes too, because you get the same thing in When a Stranger Calls, where it all takes place in one night. So in the original Black Christmas, you have a couple of days spanning where the girls are getting picked off. No, in the remake, it's just all one night. It all happens pretty quickly, and of course you think it's the boyfriend, just like in the original. And it's really just a more graphic movie. You get a little bit more backstory on the killer, which is also very strange, and I think it kind of makes it a little less scary when you don't know who this person is or why they're doing it.
Yeah.
When in the remake, you know, okay, it was a kid who used to live in the sorority house back in the 60s, 70s, whatever.
Oh.
And
they go into the backstory?
Yeah, they do the backstory. The mom used to, like, abuse him. She was a drunk.
I gotta tell you, there's a horror film, like, kind of like rule. I'm putting rule in quotations. But it feels like anytime a horror movie goes into a very strong explanation of back plot, it's not good.
Yeah. Well, this kid was born with, like, jaundice or something. He's, like, yellow, so the mom keeps him locked up. And then she starts, like, molesting him.
Ew.
And then she gets pregnant. And then she has his daughter slash sister.
What on earth?
And you find out that, like, the sister is the one living upstairs picking off these girls, and then the jaundice kid breaks out of a mental asylum and starts attacking these girls. So, yeah, pretty convoluted plotline, you know, whatever. But it was very terrifying for an 8-year-old who just moved into a new house, who heard, like, strange knocking sounds at night. It was really gross.
Yeah.
I did appreciate it. I did like this remake. I'm very excited for the new one that comes out this Friday the 13th, 2019.
Woo! There's so many events. Like, people in California, you can go drop by the Burbank Ugly Sweater Party. Then you can go see Black Christmas.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th is full of...
We need to go to California.
Yeah, I can't... I'm just about there. I'm so ready. We're moving in 7 months, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there in about a year.
That's okay. You know, that's all right. But yeah, okay, so next up is Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Silent Night, Deadly Night!
Now, I have just seen clips.
Okay.
I've never actually seen them all the way through.
All right.
Actually, that's pretty much it for the rest of them, honestly, if I'm being real here. But
Don't
yeah,
worry.
so this is going to be very Alex heavy, but that's okay.
That's why you have your subject matter expert, or
so
SME.
Excited. You're my expert.
Your SME.
My
So, so Silent Night, Deadly Night is a classic 80s slasher, you know. What year was this, Erynn? Do you have it?
Let me look it up.
Okay. So while she looks that up, I'll give you a little synopsis. There's a kid who was raised in an orphanage, who...
It was 1984.
1984, right when Nightmare on Elm Street came out.
Wow.
So, kid is raised in an orphanage, a boy. His name is Billy, I believe. And he just kind of snaps one day on Christmas because he was abused by Santa, or he saw Santa doing naughty things.
He saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus.
And he puts on a Santa suit and he goes out and starts punishing the residents of this town.
Love that.
Very gnarly. I think a scene that is worth mentioning is the sleigh scene. These two boys are riding down a sleigh and he just gives them the axe. That's his trademark weapon of choice for this film. And yeah, I think he gets shot or something at the end. Forgive me, everyone. I haven't seen this in a hot minute.
That's okay.
I do watch it every Christmas, and it's just not
Christmas
time yet.
Tradition.
It is. That
tradition.
is
Tradition.
So, not one of my favorites, but it is worth mentioning if we're talking about holiday horror.
Yeah, and then we have just
Silent Night. And I love this one. I can't tell if it's a remake or not. I feel like they want it to be, but it does stand alone. This one I have seen quite a few times because it's my favorite and I have it downloaded.
Yes.
So in this one, this crazed man comes out. His backstory was that his wife was cheating on him, and then he tried to set her and the boyfriend on fire with a flamethrower, and he himself caught on fire. So now he returns to this town and start again punishing those
I'm digging the poster
who are on the naughty list.
It's Santa holding a flamethrower, and it says he knows who's been naughty.
Yeah. He descends on this little town, starts kills the mayor, kills the mayor's daughter, kills the mayor's daughter's
Malcolm
boyfriend.
McDowell in it.
Yes, Malcolm McDowell plays the sheriff who you just want to punch the whole time because the lead deputy cop, what's her name? Okay. We have to look at this. I don't know what her name is, but she was in My Bloody Valentine.
Donald, Ellen.
Maybe. But the lead actress was one from the remake of My Bloody Valentine. She absolutely kills it.
Oh, Jamie King.
Yes.
And
she is...
Sorry, I was a little further down on the Wikipedia page than I needed to be.
She is telling Malcolm McDowell, the sheriff, this whole time, like, hey, I think there's a serial killer on the loose. And he's like, no, you're a woman. You don't know. And it's very frustrating. It has some great kills, including a topless porn star who goes into a shredder.
Love that.
And again, it's just a reminder not to be naughty during the holidays.
Don't be naughty.
Yes, definitely recommend seeing this one. One of my faves. Silent Night 2012.
I'm gonna cut in so we can have like a nice middle one. Krampus. I was talking actually to so one of my best friends in the world and / my mentor, and I promise I'll have you on the podcast. His name's Robert von Dostonovsky, and he was talking about how like Krampus isn't even like a religious thing. It's just kind of this guy who comes and takes children away in sacks, and it goes, what did you do wrong this year? And the kids are like,
Dad, is that you?
Dad. But yeah, I thought Krampus was a really interesting movie. I thought it was pretty well done. The thing that stood out to me the most about it, though, was the sound mixing. Excellent.
I loved the acting. Oh my God, Toni Collette.
Toni Collette is pretty good. Yeah.
Toni Collette is amazing, and the guy from Parks and Rec, Adam Scott. Yeah. So Krampus, there are so many movies about
this boy who wishes his family sucked dick on Christmas or something.
And then they did. He hates his family, and it's also
understandably, honestly.
But I just rewatched it last night for this podcast, and I gotta say, that was a pretty strong message about not losing the meaning of Christmas. It opens up with everyone beating the hell out of each other
in slow
motion to it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. So, yeah, again, there's a running theme through these horror movies. Mm-hmm. Be nice, don't be naughty, remember what Christmas is all about.
Which is ironic because it's taking what Christmas is and turning it on its head, but it's also being like, don't forget, fucking like Christmas or we're going to kill you.
Which, I don't,
Which, like, honestly, me too.
Yeah. So, yeah, and you got Michael Dougherty, the director of this film, who also did Trick or Treat, another holiday horror favorite.
Yeah.
He has a really awesome take. It's not just Krampus. It's the scary elves. It's the gingerbread
the
men.
Gross, like, weird, like, the wind-up box thing.
The Jack in the Box. Oh, whose mouth opens.
Disgusting. Like, yeah, oh my God. I remember the gingerbread man. Like, I physically screamed in theater, I think, because I was so amused.
And yeah, you can and what's incredible too is like you see Toni Collette's fear. I mean, you don't even see it yet in Hereditary. This is the first time you see that she's a great horror movie actress. I loved it. So Krampus, the most recent famous one by Michael Dougherty, not the other crazy low budget ones.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. See it for your holiday. Put it on your holiday horror list.
So good. But yes,
so good.
Next up is.
Can we do Jack Frost?
Jack Frost, Attack of the Killer Mutant Snowman. That is actually perfect. That's next on the list.
So Jack Frost is about a serial killer, the meanest, most nastiest man alive, who's being executed or transferred to be executed on Christmas Day. or Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And his car that's transporting him with the cops gets in an accident with a toxic waste car.
Is this the one where like, what's the one where like the guy's outside and then the guy comes by in the car?
There's a lot of movies. Was that Fargo?
It's like it's like a Christmas movie, and he has like this one liner that's like too much. Let me look it up.
Okay. Well, Jack Frost's Attack of the Killer Mutant Snowman, he, his car crashes and his body actually fuses with the snow and he becomes a snowman and he starts terrorizing this town and nobody knows how to stop him. You can't shoot a snowman.
Yeah.
You can't stab a snowman. But you know what you can do? You can melt a snowman. So the town ends up like burning him to death. But I guess it doesn't work because there's a second one that I haven't seen yet because the first one was too raunchy.
Oh golly.
Yeah. Of course you get boobs. Of course you get.
I mean that's like just like
great kills with icicles and his ice teeth. So yes, I recommend if you are ever in the mood for a campy horror movie on Christmas Eve and you have a little too much whiskey in your eggnog, this is the movie you need to see.
Excellent. So, next up.
We're cruising through these.
Yeah, we're killing it. New Year's Evil.
Oh my gosh. So, this is not Christmas. This is another holiday, but this is another tradition, watch New Year's Evil every New Year's Eve. Before the New Year's Eve party I go to, before all that, I watch New Year's Evil. This one's great. It has an awesome soundtrack. If you haven't heard New Year's Evil yet, go look it up on YouTube. It's awesome. Yeah. And I also, surprise, Erynn, would like to bring a guest from here in the Springs.
Ooh.
He's a local filmmaker. Taylor, if you're listening, this is your shout out.
So excited.
He actually got to work with the main protagonist or antagonist killer in this film.
I love that.
So
killing it, Taylor.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is, but I mean, these are like really cheesy 80s movies that you kind of watch in passing that you're not
which is really interesting that they all kind of came up in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
That's super fascinating to me because like Krampus I think is like an Ugly Sweater Christmas Party. Those are really two off the top of my head I can think of that were like Christmas related horror movies that weren't like the lowest of B-rated movies. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Silent Night had Malcolm McDowell and flamethrowers.
Yeah.
So this one takes place on New Year's Eve, and a big party is happening at a hotel with this radio DJ who's so sexy and she's cool. DJ. And her son is trying to visit her, but he's like an actor that's not really making it. She doesn't care because she's this big celebrity, and people start getting picked off. So this crazy killer guy is calling into the party because it's all being broadcasted, and he has this awesome voice. I'm gonna try and do it for you.
Yes.
I'm trying to do it. So he calls and he's like, "You can call me evil."
Yeah,
we're gonna watch it this year.
Me
Erynn.
calling Radio Disney. I was 13 years old.
And he calls the party and he's like, "Hey, every time zone that hits midnight, I'm gonna kill someone until I get to this lady, the radio DJ whose name escapes me right now." But he's like, "I'm going to commit murder at midnight."
I'm so excited.
It's great. It's a fun film.
We have to watch this before the year is over, Alex.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe right around New Year's Eve.
Excellent.
That is my tradition. Go have a shot every time someone gets murdered. And he also has the best disguises. He doesn't like just wear one mask like, Jason or Michael Myers.
Loser. Step your pussy up, Jason.
He gets creative.
Kidding. Yeah. Unlike some of you, looking at you, Freddy.
And he first he's a doctor, and then I don't know, he has this weird mustache guy. He picks up a prostitute. So he's killing all these people. It's great. Typical 80s slasher. But highly, highly, highly recommend this one for your New Year's Evil party.
Excellent. And then finally, last but not least, Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt, the original 1970s something one with Joan Collins. Is that her name? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there, and
Let me look it up just in case, because I'm pretty sure.
Sorry, we're having to cheat a little bit on this one, but this was last minute, Erynn.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't know we even have this episode.
I didn't get to prepare. So, Tales from the Crypt, if you've ever seen the original one, 1970s, starts off with Toccata and Fugue. The dun dun.
It's really creepy. My parents had like the DVD of it when I was a kid, and I remember it spooked me.
Yeah, so of course it's this is your first anthology film, or one of your first where you're gonna tell different stories, and I love anthology films.
Yes,
you'll see that in my next play, Erynn.
Yes.
So the first segment has Joan Collins as the wife.
It says Mary Ellen Trainor.
No, it's not her. It's the one that was just in American Horror Story. Was it Mary Ellen? Whatever.
I think so.
It was definitely Joan Collins.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Maybe I was looking at a different Tales from the Crypt episode.
I just didn't want to say the wrong thing. It's not the episode, it's the actual movie.
Oh, that's the prop. There we were.
Yes.
That's what happened.
So in her segment, she is the wife of a very, very wealthy man. We don't know what they're fighting about. We don't know what's wrong with them. It's Christmas. He's just reading the paper, and then whack, she kills him. Bada boom, bada bam.
Bada boom, bang, bing.
A fire poker, which is pretty gnarly. And her daughter is right upstairs, and she's like, "Mom, when is Santa coming?"
She's like, "Shut the fuck up," and they slaps her. I'm just kidding.
So as she's trying to cover up this murder on the radio, as she's listening to "Oh Holy Night," a radio broadcast breaks that a local insane man has escaped from an insane asylum, and he's dressed like Santa, and he's carrying an axe, and he's gonna murder people. So lock your doors, bolt your windows. And
I mean, Santa's honestly pretty fucking scary without
a
horror movie Santa elements being a thing.
Comes in your house, jacks your cookies and milk,
and then he just he just leaves gifts,
leaves
and
you
that makes
stuff
it okay.
You don't want and can't return.
Anytime somebody makes a Santa joke, I just go is this something I can get at Costco? Because that's my one stop.
So, of course, typical horror movie fashion, Santa shows up while she's trying to hide the body. And since this is a shorter segment, you find out that the daughter lets him in. She's like, "Hey, Santa, look, Mom, Santa's here." And,
but it's not Santa.
No, it's the serial killer.
Oh, yikes.
Dressed like Santa. So you fast forward to the 90s one with the Crypt Keeper and everything, and they redo the segment. And it's really, honestly, no offense to the OG, but I really, really liked this one a lot more. The girl who played the wife, she just emotes a lot better.
Oh, okay.
She's a lot cooler to me. She's talking to herself the whole time. My favorite, and this is something that she kind of connects with the radio that you don't see in the original. And she's looks at herself and she's like, "Oh no, officer, Santa did it." And
I mean, me.
So she's trying to pin it on Santa, and then of course she's it's a longer segment, it's 30 minutes. So she's you get to see her fight off this crazed Santa person, and then she locks herself in a closet while Santa is climbing a ladder up to her daughter's room. And she busts out and she's like, "No, I gotta go save my daughter." And the daughter is holding her hand. And the Crypt Keeper is "Don't worry." It ends there. So you don't know if he you don't see it.
You know if he
if he yeets and dabs her out.
If he yeets and dabs her to death.
But the Crypt Keeper says, "Don't worry about poor little," whatever the little girl's name was. Santa likes his women a little older.
Ew.
So
okay, at least Santa's not a pedophile.
Yeah,
I guess. I'm just kidding.
So definitely go see, if you haven't seen the OG Tales from the Crypt, check it out. I know it's streaming for free right now. You can also catch the episode of the Christmas episode on YouTube if you want.
Perfect.
Some other things that didn't make it. Some other films.
Some other fucking things. Whatever those are. No, I'm just kidding.
Some honorable mentions.
Yes.
Ginger Dead Man with Gary Busey.
That's the worst name I've ever heard in my
life.
life.
No, this one's
I'm looking
better.
that up right now.
There's like 5 of them. I saw that once when I was a kid. I'll never watch it again. I'm sorry. Gary Busey freaks
Oh
me
my
out.
God, no, it's, yeah. Oh my God, I remember this movie. I saw it when I was a little kid. It was fucking gross.
Who's gonna watch it again, huh?
It was so gross.
Santa's Sleigh.
Yeah.
SLAY. And another one that just recently came into my... Are you going to see the... That is Santa. He's just tired of everyone's...
There's this... I'm still trying to figure out what that quote is. I'm going to, like, find it in, like, 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm still trying to find what it is, but I can't. But anyway, continue, Alex.
Santa's Sleigh is just Santa gets...
Disgusting.
It really is Santa. And he just gets tired of all these people, so he just starts killing people.
I don't know how he does it, honestly. I'd be over it, too.
And a recent one, A Christmas Horror Story. It has the original Santa fighting Krampus. His elves turn into zombies. It's nuts. And you can definitely catch that one on Prime.
Ew, Ginger Dead Man is disgusting. I'm really caught up on this. This was a memory I had shut out.
I'm going to get you the plush doll.
Don't.
That speaks in Gary Busey's voice.
I'm gonna burn it alive. I'm gonna put it in the oven and bake it at 350 degrees. Okay, bye guys.
Oh,
thank you. Do we have any others?
No,
others?
that's it.
Excellent. So, Alex, what are you doing this holiday season?
This holiday season, I'm going to go punish the naughty kids with an axe.
Don't be on the naughty list. Bye.